Games are a fundamental part of life. A world without them would be like an Earth without air. And the really cool thing is, although they started all the way back in the late 50s, the path they've traveled, the journey, the history of video games is an epic one. It's come a long way, but where is it today? Where has that path led us, and where does it continue on? 2022 has arguably been one of the biggest years for video games. Battlefield 2045, God of War Ragnarok, Overwatch 2, Modern Warfare 2, Horizon Forbidden West, and of course, Elden Ring, just to name a few. Though some of these games aren't the best when it comes to quality, they still made history, with MW2 and Elden Ring earning some of the most sales video games have ever dreamed of, and on top of that, this year is going to be massive too. Dune games, Cyberpunk 2077 DLCs, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which is going to be the game of the year for sure. I mean, PGG of the future, how are we doing? So when it comes to video games, we've gotten some amazing pieces of work, and we have a lot to look forward to. But where are video games now? Where are we on the path? So bear with me as we dive into this heated topic, because it doesn't look good. The questions remain and the answers await. Why are video games dying? Don't forget to subscribe. You know, one of the more shocking parts of the 80s and the 90s was that back then, people actually socialized. Like crazy, dude. I know. Oh, the 90s. Like, what do they call it when you get nostalgia of something that you never were there for? Okay, back on track. Back then, games were a thing, but not the thing. You could go every once in a while to an arcade, and that was your gaming time for the week. But over the last couple of years, games have evolved into something much, much bigger. Late gaming nights with the boys, new big games coming out all the time that gets everybody excited, and esports. See, as time has gone on and evolved, so has the process of making video games. So has the audience, and so has the kind of games said audience is interested in. And so has the race to push what video games can be. Bigger, better, stronger, faster, okay. And all the while, the cost for these games just continues to ramp up. They're hyped up more and more people are getting interested, and before you know it, you are where we are now. These games are part of our culture, our life. I mean, this summer I was in a pool and overheard some other grown adults talking about Elden Ring bosses. Okay, actually a really funny story. Later on, they started bragging about how overpowered their Elden Ring character was, so I, being a pro Elden Ring player, simply swam over and used my frozen lightning spear on them and wiped them out of the pool. Ah, it was a great summer. And video games have even become part of how we identify ourselves. With the expansion and availability of consoles and access to video games, understandably, so has the rise in interest. And with this rise of interest also rises the demand for more. And with the demand for more comes the competition to produce something better than the other games next to it. And this simple snowball effect takes us from simple games costing reasonable amounts of money to regularly updated video games costing even up to over $300 million to make. Come on, man. Now this right here will tie directly into something we'll be covering in a second, and it's not gonna be good. Now, while interest causes demand, which in turn leads to the competition to produce something better, this isn't all bad. When you have a highly competitive environment, this can actually be a good thing for us, because it means, for the most part, these companies will be pushing and fighting to make something that gets our eye instead of letting the game next to it attract our interests. Proof of this is just how much money and time went into Cyberpunk 2077, and though the game suffered, and still is, greatly from its infamous launch, CD Projekt Red fought to make something cool and unique. Did they succeed? So in the end, we win. Or do we? Time has moved forward, the game has changed, and something serious is making an appearance more and more often. Something that has already damaged video games, but could even sink the boat. Oh my god, no, please, I'm declining it. Oh no, he's calling again. Hello? It's one of the guys in the pool I mentioned earlier. What's going on, man? Your leg's still broken? Oh, you've got multiple sclerosis. Okay. Yeah, maybe the whole frozen ice spear thing wasn't a good idea. I mean, I have like 25 bucks on me. Okay, more like 20, but I'd be glad to send it to you. Okay. Just subscribe. We just went over the journey of video games, and it's been an awesome one that will continue on. But to answer our question, are video games dying? We have to dive into the fundamentals of video games. To the very basic question, why? Why do people make video games? While it's a simple and straightforward question, it holds a lot of meaning, and the simple answer to a simple question is money. Money is why people and companies make video games. It's the reason said people and companies fight as hard as they do to keep you playing their games. Money. Now, really quickly, let's turn our attention to one of the best and most recent examples of this. Now, it's no secret that Overwatch has been dead. It's been dead for a while now, until Overwatch 2. The first game was a product of another time, so when the sequel came around, they updated some things. Blizzard focused on making Overwatch a game that stays up to pace with the current times. And where video games, especially in that genre, have gone is free to play. Now, there are right ways to approach free to play, and there are wrong ways. Let's look at some good things. Apex Legends is an amazing example of this. Arguably the best example. Because people can play their game for free, they need to add in-game purchases. So you can buy the battle pass or you can earn that stuff for free. You can buy skins, and said skins are genuinely worth every penny. That's the kind of quality we're talking about here. In Overwatch 2, which is now a free-to-play game, you can buy the battle pass or you can earn the rewards. And earning the stuff takes way longer than Apex, so to say. You can buy the skins, or you can earn in-game currency from the battle pass to unlock skin. Oh my lord. My point is, while the gameplay isn't affected by this, Blizzard took Overwatch and made it into a game that's just always pointing to you spending more money. You always can do this stuff for free, but you always can just buy it up. While in Apex it's always possible for you to unlock most stuff for free, Overwatch 2 is a different story. Now, with the massive rise in interest and popularity in Overwatch 2, Blizzard has found themselves very influential right now, and we have to be very careful. Now, while I can point fingers at Overwatch 2, pretty much all the other companies in this genre specifically have been inching toward this same conclusion. Games that are not made for the consumer's enjoyment at all, but solely for raking in as much money as possible. I could also make a good argument that we're already there in a way, which sucks. Now, I've spent my time setting the stage, now let's dive into what this all means. Blizzard, if we don't take action, might just lead all the other massive AAA companies in the same genre to push their games into nothing more than a money-sucking hole. And the sad thing is, it's already starting. It's already becoming accepted. I believe in Diablo Immortal, another game by Blizzard, it costs well over $100,000 to fully max out your in-game character. Really? This should not be acceptable. I mean, that's a joke. In Overwatch 2, you need about 49 hours, roughly, to get to level 50 on the battle pass. Just look at Apex for a second. You have a fighting chance over there. You really do. My point is, we're seeing more and more games and worlds we love slowly being degraded into black holes for money. And if something doesn't happen, I wouldn't be surprised if soon enough this is simply the norm. On top of this, those multi-hundred-million-dollar projects and games, we're seeing a massive drop in quality. They're made by big and usually reliable companies, hyped up over the span of years and years, rescheduled multiple times, and when we finally get them, they're bug infestations. We just keep getting let down. That's why games like Elden Ring and Modern Warfare 2 are so popular. Imagine a video game in 2022 and 2023 that's actually released on time, isn't full of bugs that ruin the experience, and has multiplayer aspects. Those games didn't let us down, and they shine like stars these days. They didn't cut corners and make sure to punish anybody who doesn't pay for everything in the game, and they both won massive awards. Modern Warfare 2 is actually a really good example of this. It costed millions and millions of dollars to make, and in the end, they actually pulled it off, with in-game, not cutscenes, in-game maps looking genuinely like real life. Cyberpunk looks real, but it messed up. Simply put, we're tired of being let down and disappointed. We're tired of being pretty much punished for not spending every penny we've got on some stinking game. Diablo Immortal. That's why games like Vampire Survivors got so popular. If we're just gonna be continually let down, then we'll turn our attention to smaller companies and their games. If you were to glance at Vampire Survivors, then you would think it's nothing special, but trust me and believe GameSpot when they say it's the 5th place game of the year. You can truly tell that this small group of people and this small company put their hearts into this game, and in the end, it worked out. So, what do you think? Now, will video games just die? Not at all. But more and more people are leaving because, to be completely honest, we've been let down over and over and over again. And even in the games that aren't particularly disappointing, we're pushed more and more to buy up. So it's sad, but it's not the end. We've already established that video games won't be leaving anytime soon, so we already know that the path, the journey continues, and where will it lead next? I hope you enjoyed the video. Season 2 is rocking so far. I mean, of course it is. I'll be back next time with another stinking awesome video. I love you guys. I hope you have a great rest of the day, and remember, life is short. play great games. Almost a year ago, I made a video covering Paladins versus Overwatch, and in that video, I said some pretty stupid things.
Overwatch is the first game I played that's able to fit both good and real into a map.
What? But now, almost 364 days later, that video was a day off, I know, I've crawled back. Now, back when I made that video, both games were in a time of epic change, and while they were changing and going through some massive stages, with Paladins pushing forward